New England is made up of 6 states: Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. These 6 states took part in some of our more notable history. You have Pilgrims, our first Thanksgiving. You've got the Boston Tea Party, the Revolutionary War, and even the signing of our Declaration of Independence. Many of our presidents have called New England home. You've got John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Calvin Coolidge, John F. Kennedy, and both George Bushes. History is something that can be learned in school, but what can you learn from a region that you experience every day or could experience every day? What makes a region special? For New England, food is very important. The first Dunkin' Donuts opened in 1948 in Quincy, Massachusetts. The owner, William Rosenberg, had a store called the Open Kettle. It didn't take its iconic name Dunkin' Donuts until 1950. A lot of New Englanders will go to Dunkin' Donuts and order something called coffee regular. A lot of people assume that this is just black coffee. However, in New England, we like our coffee sweet, so it's coffee with cream and sugar. Another iconic location that opened in New England is Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. Opened in Burlington, Vermont in 1978, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield took $5 and a correspondence course for ice cream making at Penn State University and started their dream of making some of our more unusual ice cream flavors that we love today. Another iconic food for New England is clam chowder. Now, we say chowder where I come from, and it's always white. In New England, clam chowder does not have tomatoes. That is more Manhattan style. As a matter of fact, in 1939, Maine made it a law that you could not include tomatoes in your clam chowder. Another favorite of New Englanders is coffee syrup. This is a thick, sweet coffee-flavored syrup that we often mix with ice-cold milk, and it actually makes Rhode Island's state drink, coffee milk. You can think of it kind of like a coffee-flavored milkshake, just no ice cream. And for those of you who are coffeeaholics, you can actually find coffee syrup at Publix. A list can go on forever with favorite foods for New England. You've got American chop suey and stuffies, and even in Rhode Island, they have what's called a hot wiener. If you find yourself in Rhode Island, don't call it a hot dog. Another way that New Englanders are portrayed, and we can share a little bit about ourselves, is through TV and movies. You have The Family Guy, where Peter Griffith and his family live in the fictional town of Quahog, Massachusetts. Technically, it's pronounced quahog, and a quahog is a large clam. Many people are used to seeing the small ones, but these are much bigger than that. Another famous show that many people are aware of is The Gilmore Girls, that take place in the fictional town of Stars Hollow, Connecticut. This is actually filmed in Washington, Connecticut, which is about 49 miles from Hartford. One of the more notable films would be Hocus Pocus, that starred Bette Midler, and that's a family fun Halloween movie where 3 sisters come back on Halloween and wreak havoc through Salem, Massachusetts. Salem, Massachusetts being notable for everything witch and pirate that New England has to offer. One of my favorite movies is In the Heart of the Sea, and this movie is about an 1820 whaling ship that sunk. And the actual sinking of this ship was what inspired the Herman Melville book, Moby Dick. Then we get to some of the more odd facts about what makes New England the quirky place that it is. Did you know that in Hartford, Connecticut, a pickle is not a pickle unless it bounces when dropped from a foot above the ground? This became a food safety law in 1948 when 2 men were actually arrested for selling rotten pickles to the public. New Englanders are very thirsty. Vermont has the most breweries per capita. It's almost 1 brewery for every 32,000 people. And Maine isn't far behind in 4th place. One of our very first traffic laws was created in 1678 in Newport, Rhode Island, and it became illegal to ride a galloping horse down a public street. This also led to our 1904 first traffic law that caused a vehicle to get its very first speeding ticket. The question you have to ask is, was the vehicle traveling as fast as a galloping horse? While all areas of the United States have things that make them stand out or are considered special, the quirky laws, the portrayals of New Englanders in TV and film, and our foods are only a small part of what makes New England a notable region. We're defined by its history, by our sports, by our portrayal on TV, our food, and even just our oddball trivia. But what you can't deny is that New Englanders love New England. Thank you.